I'm live. Hi everyone, welcome back to Melting the Ice, a place where we aim to melt away our insecurities, the ice within us, the things that we've frozen, the things that we have put away because we're afraid we can't deal with them. A place where we melt away those things, our limitations, our fears, the parts of us we think we can't handle. We melt all that here with ease and grace, and we immerse ourselves into the waters, and we rise as best, happiest, healthiest, sexiest, richest versions of ourselves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is the last part of the Shireen's Anyway series, and saying that makes me really emotional. I don't know if you've been a part of this journey. If you have, I want to say thank you. Whenever you join me, I don't know when you join me. If it's your first time here, what do we say? We save the best. We save the best for the end. I'm so happy to have you here today. My energy is just, I'm just so excited. I feel so happy. I feel so proud of myself that I made it this far in this series. As for the future of the podcast, we'll discuss that at the end of the episode, maybe with the meditation. We'll see what happens. First of all, I want to ask you, how do you feel? I want to thank you for being here, for investing in yourself, for investing your time, your energy into becoming your best version. I hope you're happy. Grab your drink. And I want to say a special thank you to She Knows Herself, my sister-in-law, who got me this beautiful mug. Wait, what was that? Let me bring this closer to you so you can see. So it says melt in the ice on it. Let me see. It says, can you guys see? It says melt in the ice. I have like a sparkling drink in there. Very nice. So I want to just say thank you for this. And there's a story behind this. And then maybe I'll share along the way of today's topic. Let's get right into it. Now, this brings me to the next topic. It's just like bubbling. Bring your drink. Bring your snacks. Let's have fun, sis. Very nice. So yesterday, I spoke a bit about the truth. I spoke a bit about the truth of being chosen, and I just mentioned very quickly that the real truth about being chosen is that you have to choose yourself. Like you must choose yourself if you want to. You must choose yourself if you want to be able to live the life of your dreams. You have to be the person who decides that you will choose yourself. You can't wait for others to choose you, right? Even if everything outside of you is not aligned with that, even if the things you desire outside of you are not aligned with what you feel you deserve, right? You think you deserve X, Y, and Z, and outside it doesn't look that way. I'm just so excited today. Outside doesn't look that way, and then you begin to think that because this outside is not aligned with what I feel inside, I must be the problem. I must be the person. I must be the reason why it's not happening this way. It must be my fault. And I want you to really shift this. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Because how things are outside, what solidifies them, what makes them even more real is your opinion of them. It's your perspective of those things. When you keep attaching a negative meaning to things you see outside, let's say you're driving and like your car tires ends up being messed up or ends up getting a tear, and you attach that meaning to mean you're having a bad day. You wake up in the morning and I don't know, you step out with your left foot and you say, there you go, I'm gonna have a bad day. You're already programming yourself to expect bad things to happen to you. You're expecting things to not go your way, right? And feeling chosen is, first of all, being chosen is choosing yourself. It's every single day deciding that you're going to choose the emotions that are going to rule your day and your life. What emotions do you want to rule your life? If I had someone here that asked them, what emotions do you want to rule your life? I'm going to go because that's what we do here. The emotions I love to rule my life would be joy. Because I think joy really comes from within, right? I think I didn't say happiness because happiness I feel is still a bit external. When things are good, we're happy. When things are not so good, we're not so happy. I hope you all can hear me. When things are not so I have my mic right here. When things aren't so good, we're not so happy. When things are good, we're happy. But joy, I think joy is so much deeper than that. Joy comes from within. It comes from the unseen. It's almost like an internal state of being, regardless of what's happening outside of you, regardless if you're losing your job, you had a flat tire, I don't know, you had a friendship breakup, all those things that happen to us in this life, right? They're all parts of the journey, but we can't keep attaching negative meaning to those things. We can't keep deciding that it means something bad. We can't keep deciding that it means we're not worthy. It means we're not amazing. It means we just, we can't keep attaching those things, those feelings to that. Because let me tell you something. Your reality, how you see it, the thoughts you're having are just you trying to process what you see outside of you, right? So your thoughts come from you processing the outside world. Now, what if you don't and how you process the outside world, right? How you process the outside world has everything to do with your decisions. Okay, you could be seeing the worst thing ever in one day, flat tire, car breaks down. What else can we say? Flat tire, car breaks down, bad hair day, forget to submit assignments, whatever it may be. Dog eats dog eats your car keys, or dog eats, I don't know, your project at work. Things are just unfolding in a way that we would all see as negative, right? But now, choosing to decide that I am chosen, it means that I choose my emotions. It means that I understand that my thoughts come from the way I interpret my outside world. And the way I interpret the outside world will then go ahead and affect the emotions that I have. So you have your outside world, right? Like you have your reality. You have your reality, and then the way you perceive and interpret that reality, the way you and interpret, perceive and interpret that reality will then determine the kind of thoughts you're having, right? Now, those thoughts would then determine the kind of feelings you're having. And now those feelings don't determine the predominant emotion you're experiencing. It could be hatred, it could be joy, it could be bliss, it could be anxiety. But all of that trickles down to the emotions that you're going to be experiencing most of the time. And we can clearly see how being chosen really boils down to making a decision on how you're going to interpret your reality. And this is so good and interesting because you can start doing this today, sis. Today, think about something that has happened that you didn't necessarily enjoy today. What was it? Did you just spill your coffee? Let me think about something that happened to me today. What will I even say? Today was let me think. Hmm. Okay, maybe not today. Yesterday. Right, let's talk about yesterday. Yesterday, for example, I was feeling quite down, right? Because again, I was in my reality. My mic almost dropped. Oh, you guys saw my reflex in in motion. In motion, that was so funny. My mic almost fell over. So yesterday, like I was saying, I saw my reality, and the reality I was seeing was that I wasn't seeing the progress I was hoping to see in my channel, right? Because again, like I said, we all have those emotions, and then being an empress is being able to return to the real you. And what does that look like? Returning to the truth of who you are, the truth that you are crowned through everything that's happening. She reigns anyways. You can reign through everything, right? But I was having a moment yesterday, excuse me, around later in the day. And I was just not satisfied with the way my channel was going. I wasn't satisfied with what I was seeing, with like my numbers. I wasn't satisfied with that. And I began to collapse a little bit. I began to feel a bit, I attached the meaning to it. Oh, this must be bad, right? Oh, because I'm putting all this effort and I'm showing up and this is not happening. And I want to say, every time I have these moments, a breakthrough is always about to come. Something really good, something that surpasses my understanding is about to happen if I stick it out. If I stick it out. Now, what does sticking out look like? Sticking out looks like you taking the steps you're going to take anyways. You're doing the things you're going to do anyways. If you say you're going to post on your channel, you post regardless of that thing you're feeling, right? If you say you're going to write a blog post, you write a blog post. If you're going to have a meeting, you go to your meeting. You do not let that state determine your next action, right? So that's what you call pattern interruption, because now you're not letting the current state to dictate your action, right? Because you're an empress. So that's what happened to me yesterday, for example. And I still showed up for my life yesterday. I showed up for my shorts. I recorded my shorts. I did my post. And I want to tell you that I was super happy right away, but I wasn't, because I had already chosen to interpret that thing, my numbers, as a bad thing. So my thoughts were not very good, right? My feelings, not so great. And then like the state I was in, not so great, but still my action from that place, because after you have the reality, the like the interpretation, the thoughts, the feelings, your state, then you have your action that you can take, right? And you want your action to be the same regardless. Even if you've tickled down all the way to this place and you couldn't catch yourself, you want your action to be the determining factor of the direction you're going to go into. So me choosing to show up yesterday, despite how I felt, knowing that this is the truth. The truth is that I want to create an impact in the world. I want to share my light to the world. I would love to be a person that contributes to this world being a better place. I'd love to be a person that, after I'm gone, people remember me as a person that was a light in the world and that who actually helped people find their light, who help people reconnect with the truth of who they are, who help people, almost like who was like a lighthouse when people were lost in their own lives and they were lost in their pain, a person that could help them find their way back home to who they really are. That makes me so happy because I really feel like I was just born to give that clarity. So yesterday, despite how I was feeling about the external things, my action was still the same. As if I was going to feel that, as if I felt excited, right? So you don't want to let this thing, like this interpretation, this thought, this emotion, these feelings, these states, to change your action. You want to decide what you're going to do, right? So being chosen really comes down to deciding how you interpret a reality. And if you can stop yourself down from the reality, then the action will be more enjoyable because it changes everything. Yesterday when I was in my action, I was in my life. My energy was not too great. You can go and see that live. It wasn't bad. I showed up. I was aware that I'm making the world a better place. But I wasn't like today. And again, I'm so grateful because that allowed me space to grow, to reflect, and to become the woman that I am right now, which I think is I've grown a lot, thank God. But yesterday I could have stopped myself when I perceived that reality as negative. I could have just stopped it right there and say, I choose to be grateful for this moment. I choose to see this what it really is. I choose to decide how I'm going to approach this. Joy is a decision, for example. For me, so the emotion I want to choose every single day is to feel joyful, regardless of what's happening around me, to feel joyful. What is your emotion? What emotion do you want to rule your life? I want to ask you right now, write it down. If you had to pick an emotion, just one emotion, that would rule your life, rule how you make decisions, rule how you experience people around you, your own life. What emotion would that be? Mine will be joy because joy makes everything better. Even bad situation, even so-called bad situations, you can find joy in those moments, right? So I want you to be the person that remembers that you are chosen. Being chosen means that you've chosen yourself. It means that you're choosing to allow support to find you in that situation. Whether it's through prayer, to meditation, but finding a way to reach to the higher power, to reach to God and say, hey, I am choosing myself now. Would you please hold me? Would you please support me in this state that I am in right now? Whether you find yourself that you've had a negative perception of the reality, or you've already tickled down to having negative thoughts. If you're already having a negative feeling, a negative emotion, it means that this started a long time ago. It didn't start now. We weren't aware of it. I want to tell you that the more you're able to catch yourself and choose yourself and remember that you're chosen, you're gonna start realizing that when you see the reality and begin to see it as a bad thing, you catch yourself in that moment and you can begin to reroute and choose an emotion that is more aligned with the vision you want for your life. Right? So you don't need people to choose you. Ultimately, God has really chosen you. Ultimately, your creator, God, has chosen you. And how do I know He has chosen you? Because you are here right now. You're listening to me, and I don't know how you're receiving this message, but I want to tell you that if you're on Earth and you're breathing, even if you're on a breathing machine, you're here because God has chosen you. He has single-handedly picked you to be a part of this magical experience we call life. Are you grateful for the experience? Are you honored to be here? Because it's a huge privilege to be here on earth with you, sis. With you, sis. Life is a miracle in itself, but yet we focus on things that don't really matter. We obsess over things we cannot change. We obsess over other people liking us, choosing us, validating us. When we can't change that, we can't choose that. That's our free will. That's a violation of wanting to decide how others will feel about us. When we can't even decide to feel about ourselves how we want to feel. Isn't that so crazy? You want to control how others perceive you, and you're struggling to control how you perceive yourself. The one thing you have in your control you're struggling to do, and yet you want others to perceive you in a certain kind of a way. That doesn't make sense, right? You have to choose yourself, regardless of how other people choose you. Hi, I see there's someone here. So you have to choose yourself. Being chosen means that you decide how you're going to feel in every moment, regardless of what's happening, regardless if everything is going wrong. You're being chased by a dog, you spilled coffee on your project. I don't know what's happening. The worst thing can be happening to you, and you can still be in a state of bliss because you remember that you're chosen. You're chosen by your creator, you're chosen by God, and you yourself too, you're choosing to be a free will to participate in this experience called life of your own free will, by your own free will, and you decide that you're going to be grateful for the opportunity to be here. You're going to find a reason, any reason of joy to hang on to it and to let it unfold how it's going to unfold. That is the truth about being chosen. And me, in this moment, I'm choosing to choose myself. Will you choose yourself? The person that's watching now, let me ask you. Yes, I'm asking you. What emotion do you want to rule your life in this moment? Yeah. What emotion do you want to rule? Because you have to ask yourself this question because there'll be times when nothing is really going well for you. We won't have those times. And it doesn't mean that you're cursed. It just means that you're being tested to see how committed you are to choosing yourself, how committed you are to remembering that you were chosen by God before you even came here. It's a test. It's not to make you feel, it's to help you remember what really matters. So I want to ask you, what emotion do you want to rule your life? And I mentioned earlier that mine was joy. I would love for joy to rule every area of my life, regardless of how big or small it is. I want joy to rule every area of my life because that's the most important emotion to me. Because when you can feel joy when everything is falling apart, you can enjoy when things are going well even more. Because then you're no longer restricted and controlled by external experiences because you understand that you are really chosen. Okay, you're choosing, therefore everything is in your control on how you experience it. Okay, you think that when others give you all these things and that way you feel something inside of you, but you can't feel anything that you haven't allowed yourself to feel first. When others, even if others give you that experience, give you all those things, and you haven't decided that you're worthy of those things, you're not really going to be able to embrace and enjoy those things as you think you will. You're not really going to be able to enjoy those things. How committed are you to living the life you want to live? That commitment is tied to how choosing you feel. Choosing to believe that this life is a huge blessing. Despite how good or bad it's going, you can't fail at life as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep remembering that you are chosen, and that in every moment, you're just simply being redirected into a new path, into new possibilities, into a new way of being, into a new perspective, and just into newness. How exciting is that, though? But yet we want to numb ourselves when things don't go our way. We want to scroll away. We want to watch all the dramas. We want to do things that we know we're not meant to be doing. We want to escape our lives. And I think the point of life is not to escape it, but it's to actually be present in it, despite how painful or difficult it might be. Because I think the philosopher, his name is Rumi, Rumi, yes, Rumi, he said that pain is how light enters the body. Pain is how light enters the body. So how will light enter your body if you don't feel pain? I think or wound, sorry. A wound is how light enters your body. Something like that. We'll have to check. So how would light enter your body if you don't experience those breaking moments? It's in those breaking moments that you really realize what you're really made out of. It's not when everything is going perfect that you know what you're made of. When nothing is going well, you really know the depth of your inner work, the depth of how much you've worked on yourself, the depth of who you are. It shows you, it literally brings a mirror to your face and shows you this is who you are in this moment. And it can show you exactly what you need to share, what you need to choose to move forward. It's not to break you and have you just fall apart and just give everything up. No, those moments are to show you, to question yourself as to what really matters in your life. Is it love? Is it joy? What is it? And will you decide to live like that moving forward? Will you choose those emotions moving forward? Will you understand that you're choosing, meaning that you are choosing by your creator and you get to choose yourself every single day you wake up in the morning? Choose yourself before you choose scrolling, before you choose overeating, before you choose anything else. Choose yourself and choose the one who chose you. I believe that will bring so much more peace in your life. What do you think? I see there's someone here. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think? Yesterday when I saw my stats and I was so disappointed as I'm going to be very vulnerable. I was so disappointed as to where I am right now with my channel, which is so ridiculous, right? I have this platform. I get to come here and I get to come here and I get to. I'm so sorry. I'm laughing. I get to come. I'm laughing because the person who was here just left the chat right now, just left the live. So I just thought that was funny. After I asked them, I asked them a question, they left. Anyways, so I was saying that I'm so grateful that I get to have this platform where I get to come here, be myself, show up, you know, light the world from my own angle, make the world a little bit better just by embracing my challenges, by being vulnerable, by being me. Every single day I get to grow, I get to document it here for the world to see, whether it's today, tomorrow, and 1,000 years. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. It's a huge blessing that I forget because I'm human. Then again, I return, I remember the privilege it is to be alive, the privilege that God has given me by giving me this mission. And I remember that my channel, my mission is called Melting the Ice, a name that was given to me, I don't know, maybe what, maybe 3 years ago or more. I'll have to check. Maybe 3 years ago or more, yes. And when the name came to me, I just knew that it was melting the ice, melting away your insecurities, and emerging as the best version of ourselves. But now realizing that everything that we're struggling with, all our difficulties, those are little ice. Like all the things that scare us, we literally freeze them and then we store them in the corner of our bodies. We freeze them, we store them, and get to a point where you have so many things freezing inside of you that you can't function. You're completely frozen. Do you feel that's familiar? That the things you want to do, you're struggling to do. The things you don't want to do, you're doing. There's a part of you that's frozen. It's time to melt away those parts of you. It's time for you to emerge as a better version of yourself. It's time for you to melt the false self. To melt the part of you that is trying to hold you back because it doesn't feel safe. That's why I created crown activation for a person, for the woman who feels like she no longer wants to be held by her false self. She no longer wants the part of herself that not the real her to make decisions. She wants to make decisions from the sovereign version of herself. She wants that sovereign part to rule her. Okay, and even if you're a sovereign woman, you make decisions, right? There's still that part of you that's frozen. We all have those parts of us that are frozen, that we hold back from, that we hide, that we don't think are good enough to be seen. Your crown queen. You need to crown that part of you. Crown that part of you boldly. Okay? If you felt like you're not really sure which way to go, you know you're meant for greatness. You know you're meant for so much more, but you don't know why you're self-sabotaging. The self-sabotager in you who's trying to hold you back because you don't believe you're safe. Those parts of you need comfort. They want to become your ally, and that can happen in crown activation. All that can happen in 80 minutes. You can begin to reframe completely how you see the false self. I'm planning to add one more section to that course because I had a deep revelation today. So I'm thinking of adding a section to crown activation. So if you buy it this week, you're gonna get the extra activation, the extra section in there. If you feel like you want to share the part of you, the false over a period of 11 days, you want to remember the crown. Okay, you remember the crown and crown codes, you activate them in crown activation. Crown codes is a free offer where you unmask the lies that are holding you back. Think about it. There are many lies that are making you behave the way you behave right now, that are running behind it, that are running the show in your mind. The lies that you're not good enough, the lies that you can't run a business, the lies that you think you can do well in this area of your life. How dare you think you can do well in this other area of your life too? Those are all lies that we've internalized inside of our bodies and that are tripping us up and holding us back from actually living the life we dream to live. Okay, that life you dream is just one lie away. It's just unmasking one more lie. Sitting with it, realizing it was never meant to hold you back, realizing that that lie wants to be unmasked. And you get to do that in Crown Codes 11 days. If you feel like these offers are pulling to your heart, if you feel like you're done holding parts of you that are ready to be let go. You want to say goodbye to those parts with honor. You want to integrate them. Some of them want to be integrated back into you, and then they can become your cheerleaders. They can become your best friends and your allies. If you feel like you want to become unstoppable, you want to be the empress who rules over multiple kingdoms. You want to be unstoppable in every area of your life. You get to crown yourself over and over again. Is that you? Does that touch in your heart? Does that excite you? If it does, then maybe, just maybe, you want to be in this space because it won't excite you for no reason, right? It means a part of you knows that you're meant and you belong in this space. The space is open for you. The space is down below. If you feel the pull, click the links. If you feel you've like you're afraid and ashamed of launching something and then the launching flops, you feel like you're so scared of charging for your worthiness because you think, oh, charging for your work will make you a bad person. You think that because you have 0 views, because you have 10 views or however much views you think that does not qualify you to create something. You think that you have to be Beyonce before you put yourself out there. You think that you can't survive others not supporting your business. You think that you can't make that bold decision of putting yourself out there and just starting your course regardless of what happens, regardless of how you are seen. That part of you that is so scared. She wants to be activated in crown activation. She remembers her crown. And then she wants to be in 0 views fully crowned. That way she knows that her worthiness is not tied to her views. She's fully aware of the fact that the lounge doing well or the lounge flopping has nothing to do with her worthiness. She wants to remember that. She wants to know that despite everything, she is fully crowned. Is that you? Do you feel like there are times when you're not fully crowned in your business? There are times when you feel like a peasant in your business. You feel like you're begging people to look at your product. You're ashamed of being mocked. You're ashamed of being disliked. You're ashamed. You're scared of not being supported. You have all these burdens that you're carrying. You want to share them in crown activation. Shed all of those things. It's time to let go. It's time for you to remember your crown and wear your crowns. It's time for you to decide to charge boldly for your work. Because your work is your magic. Your work is your gift to the world. So why aren't you giving us the thing that you were born to give us? When I give us everything, sis. Give us everything. You were born for this. But you have to keep thinking, oh, I need permission from this person. You're waiting for the whole world to approve of you before you do something. You don't have that much time, sis. You don't have that much time. Life is so short and beautiful. But today you can decide to honor your yes. Honor the feeling in your heart that tells you that, you know what? I am meant for more. You know what? I deserve to remember my crown. You know what? I deserve to crown myself. I deserve to walk as a woman that God anointed. I deserve to walk unshakable, bold, more sovereign than ever, expanding and expanding over and over again. Because that's who I was born to be. I wasn't born to be so small. I was born to be big. I was born to be magnificent. And now I want to embrace all those parts of me starting today. I want to be fully crowned, whether I have 1 billion views or 0 views. I no longer want my worthiness to be tied to my views, to be tied to external things. I no longer want to ask people, is this too much money for my course? When I felt the calling in my heart that it was meant to be X amount of dollars, yet I'm still asking people if it's too much or if it's too little. Be able to honor your intuitive knowing. 0 views fully crowned. You learn to laugh like you never laughed before at yourself. The part of you that you thought you were taking too seriously. You need to stop taking it so seriously. And understand that this life is meant to be enjoyed. Choosing that joy gets to be your number one emotion. Your life, your dream life gets to be your number one focus. Your impact, the change you want to be in the world gets to be your focus. Everything else just falls away. Everything else falls away, and then you take crown activation and you activate that crown. You remember that this is who you always were. You shed all the parts of yourself that want to hold you back. The biggest enemies you have is within your head. Do you agree? Do you feel like people that are online, the haters, your biggest haters is actually within your mind? That part of you tells you, oh, you've done this thing, you're so good at business, but now you can't do this other thing. You're so good at this other thing, you can't do business. You can do it all. That's why I have Crown Codes 11 days and it's actually free. because you get to unlearn, like look at the lies in the face and say, this is not who I am. After taking crown codes, that will leave you like so intoxicated into your next level. That will lead you so excited to go into crown activation because now you're like, I get all of this for free. I get to remember my crown. I get to shed all this much burden, all this much yuckiness on my shoulders for free. I want to start charging boldly for my work now. I am ready to no longer hide and pretend like I am nothing, like I'm some nobody, like I'm some mistake. No, I was chosen. And every single day I want to choose myself. Do you want to choose yourself, sis? Why haven't you chosen yourself yet? What is holding you back? I bet it's a false self that you want to unlearn and shed in crown activation. Crown codes, you want to remember the crowns. It's free. You want to remember the parts of you that are leading you to live a life you're not proud of. You want to look at yourself in the mirror every single day and say, yes, I am this woman. Yes, I'm not perfect. I embrace my crown cringe. I love myself exactly as I am. I don't try to be like the woman next to me. I fully embrace who I am, knowing that every single day I expand more into that woman because I get to over and over activate, remember my crowns. If you feel the calling in your heart, there's space for you. I want to welcome you back to meet the next version of yourself, to craft that woman that you know you were always born to be, that you know is one step away. If you feel like, yo, man, you know what? I think I would like to meet with you one to one. I would like to talk to you one to one. That's perfectly fine because those sessions that I offer, you come in confused, you come in cloudy, you come in exhausted by the world, and you leave excited, you live alive again, you leave rejuvenated with a new sense of purpose because now you remember. I hope to recalibrate you and to remind you of the things you've forgotten. My sessions are 45 minutes. I get to remind you. I hope to bring light and clarity to the things you felt were long gone, but were always there waiting for you to return. What is your truth, sis? Are you ready to choose yourself? Which emotion do you want to rule your life? All questions you might consider answering for yourself. I want to have a drink for my cute little cup. So cute, melt in the eyes. That was a big sip. Mm-hmm. Very nice. So you have to be intentional how you interpret your reality. The things you say about yourself. Be kind to yourself, sis. Because how you interpret it dictates every single thing. Before you judge something as good or bad, before you decide the meaning of something, just take a break and say, what if it meant nothing? I know. What if I can just decide what my ruling emotion is? Maybe yours is excitement. Mine is joy, for now, at least in my life. I can decide that I will feel excitement in this moment because your ruling emotion, you get to activate that whenever you want in your life. You get to decide that I'll interpret this moment through the lens of excitement. And that will lead to the kind of thoughts you're having. You feel more excited naturally. Then you begin to feel that feeling. And then your state changes. Then when you take action from that place, the action completely fuels you. It puts you on fire. It melts away all the ice that has been holding you back. You emerge more empress. But regardless of anything, even if you don't interpret the thoughts well, you have a wrong interpretation of the reality. You see the reality as bad. That's a bad interpretation, right? Then you have non-negative thoughts. Why am I like this? Why am I like that? What is wrong with me? Then you have negative feeling. Then you have negative state. You guys decide to take an action that is towards your dreams. Although it will not feel the same, but it's a start. Start where you are. Choose yourself. Decide that you're choosing today because you are, or else you wouldn't be breathing this air. You wouldn't be here with me right now. If you felt like anything I've shared today has blessed you in any way, shape, or form, please like, comment, and subscribe. So that means the world to me. It tells me that I am living on my mission. I'm doing what I was born to do. I'm sharing. Um, I'm being the person that God made me to be. Every single day I'm learning and I choose, and from this day on I decide to be better and better and better every single day. You will see me here every single day. I don't even know what I'll look like because I don't know all the parts of me. But I guess we'll get to know them together. Just like I want to get to know you. I would love for you to crown yourself, to decide to no longer be an enemy with your false self, to decide to make those parts of you that are holding you back your allies, to decide to charge boldly for your work, to decide to no longer feel affected or sad when the lounge, when your chorus doesn't sell, when you can't charge for your magic, when you're too afraid of that, when you're always thinking about how they will see you, how they will judge you, when you're in that place to decide the next step forward, to remember that you're choosing and that support is always around you. I am here to support you. My support, my spaces are down below. And I invite you into spaces. If you feel the pull in your heart, if you feel like this is what I've been looking for and waiting for, you will know. I won't have to say a word to you, you will know. So make that decision, make that choices. And I will see you tomorrow. I think I want to do a prayer. Do you all want a prayer? There's no one here. Let's just do a prayer. Dear God, deep breath. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, the privilege of being here and speaking light, love, joy into anyone who is living, who's watching here, right? To anyone who is watching right now. Thank you, God, for giving me this privilege, for putting me in this position that I have the privilege of being a light to someone out there. May they have the best day ever. And if it's night time, may they have the best night ever. May they awaken into new reality in the morning. May they choose themselves in whatever way that looks for them. And what they choose for themselves, may it grow into the most beautiful life ever. May they live a life they can be proud of. May they become the women they were always born to be. I wish them joy, love, God. I wish them abundance. I wish them prosperity. May everything they touch turn to gold. May they be happy forever and ever. May they choose emotions that sustain and support their best life, their dream life. May they be so intoxicated, excited, filled with a desire to create the life of their dreams. May they choose themselves every single day because they are already chosen. Their creator already chose them. May they wake up every single morning and choose themselves and choose the life of their dreams and choose to create and put their energy and time to becoming the person they were always born to be. I wish you all well. As you can see throughout this prayer, my stuttering came out a little bit. That's okay. That's part of my evolution, my growth. And I'm embracing my crown cringe. I'll see you tomorrow. I had so much fun here today. So much fun. I didn't know that my energy would be so like this today. I had so much fun here. I keep saying I had so much fun. But I want to do something before I leave. I want to say cheers to you. Cheers to you. Oh, I had a story around my mug. Let me just share it real quick. Yesterday, I told you how I was feeling. I attached I attached a negative meaning to how my channel was going. It equaled down. I wasn't feeling great, but then I still choose the action of the holy action. I choose to remember that I was chosen. I chose myself, and that God chose me. I showed up. I went live. I did everything. Then after that, I went for a walk, and I was still a bit in that energy, but I was just surrendering everything to God and saying, God, you know what? Everything's working out for me. And say, God, I was finding things to laugh about on the road, which is something that I talk about in Zero Views Fully Crowned. I was trying to remember that I'm fully crowned in this moment, even though it didn't feel like it. But I was making the decision that I am fully crowned, even though I can't feel it. I'm fully crowned. I was walking, came back home, saw a package on my bed, and I was like, "What's that?" I opened it. It was this beautiful mug right here. It was God telling me that I'm not alone. When I think nothing is working, everything's actually working. When I think nothing is moving, everything is frozen. Things are melting behind the scene. I want to tell you, whatever you think life is going right now, however way you think it's going, know that if you keep showing up, that's conviction, that's decision, that consistency. It's melting things behind the scenes. It's melting things you can't even imagine. It's only a matter of time before they begin to melt with your naked eye. But trust that every decision you make, any choice you do, make to be consistent, to show up, despite what's happening, to choose the action that is aligned with in crafting your dream life, things are melting. You can't see it. When you see the things that are looking fixed in your life, I don't know, your sales number, your income, your numbers, your followers, look at it and say, it is melting because human said so. Look at it and say, it is melting right now, even though I can't see it. It is melting. It is melting because I am learning. I am choosing myself. I am remembering that I'm already choosing, therefore it has to be melting. And I can't wait to witness it. If I stay the entire time, it's only a matter of time before I see it melting before my eyes. That'll be all for today. I had so much fun again. Cheers, my sister. Ooh, cheers, my sisters. And I'll see you tomorrow. I love you so much. Bye.